Hello, everyone. It is I, your favorite bard. I want to say hello and welcome to the Nevermore Nerds podcast. Um, Broadcasting live from Texas, where I am back now after a weekend in Indiana with my co-host, Dare Bear.
That's me.
Yeah. A lot of great things happened while I was over there. We got to play some Yu-Gi-Ohs. We got to hang out. Like eat pancakes. And I might have come home with COVID. I don't know, maybe. But
I hope you didn't. I
I,
really hope it
I
doesn't turn out to be COVID.
I'm pretty sure it's not. I mean, like I said before, there was like a toddler on the airplane that kept coughing on me, so I probably caught whatever he had. Hopefully, he didn't have COVID. And like I said, it's kind of like one of those things where it's like, I don't want to tell the mom, like, hey, your son keeps coughing on me. Because I feel like even if it's true, it kind of comes across as rude. But at the same time, I'm giving her the look, like every time he coughs on me, I'm giving her the look, like where I'm staring and kind of hoping that she'll notice that I'm like, hey, stop him from doing that, or like make him face the opposite direction, or switch seats with him. Why is he in the middle seat? Like I'm on the aisle, she's on the window, and like her son is just like, my favorite thing is to cough on random strangers, and I'm just like, yep, that's
Well,
cool.
sharing is caring. You have to remember that.
I suppose so. I want to take a moment
Yeah.
to say thank you to everybody who's in the chat. We got Christine Baker, we got Sock Goblin, Amazing WTF, Brother Gamma, 242 Reads, and Helix just showed up. Hey, Helix. I actually messaged Helix earlier because you sent home some gifts for Helix.
I
Uh,
did, and I was wanting to know if he got anything from his box or if he even opened his box yet.
his box has not been opened yet. It is sitting on my desk. He'll get around to it eventually. It's just uh, you know, what I like about your town is that it's a very small town, and everybody can see each other throughout the course of a day. From what it looks like to me, our hometown, me and Helix, we have to drive an hour and a half to see each other. So it's kind of one of those things where it's like I let him know, hey, I'm back. I got some gifts for you, and whenever you get a chance, come on up and come open your box. Let's see what you get. And at the moment, he's been like, okay, well, we can do that on the weekend, or like on Sunday, because Sunday will be for one thing the July finals for our Nevermore Yu-Gi-Oh Master Duel tournament, but also it will be the pre-release for Power of the Elements at our locals. So Helix and I were planning on doing the tournament and then immediately heading over to the locals for the pre-release. So on that day, Helix will get to his box.
If you guys get Exo Sister Martha, I expect that to be sent in the mail post haste.
I'm not against it. If we pull, if I pull, at least, I don't want to speak for Helix, but if I pull an Exo Sister Malfa, I will send her to you via the mail. But what was I gonna say? Um, he does have to cut and shoot after all. That's right. We had some. He has to cut and shoot his way over to where I live. But what was I gonna say? Christine Baker says, I would have said something. I mean, yeah. I feel like I probably should have. It's just that after you get coughed on once, it's kind of like I could say something at this point, but the damage is done. you know, I can't tell his mom, hey, your kid's coughing on me, and that'll magically make it so that it never happened. So it was just kind of like, okay, well, I guess it happened, and I kept thinking to myself, maybe it won't happen again. But every time I told myself that, it was obviously a lie because it kept happening. So yeah, not overall, like I'm a little lightheaded. I feel like I have a fever, although the fact is I do not. I've checked multiple times. A scratchy throat and body aches, well, all of which are symptoms of a common cold, but also the symptoms of COVID. So, like I did take a COVID test this morning and it came back negative, but 242 told me that, honestly, it can come up negative a lot and you can still have it, so Basically, just gonna keep an eye on myself for the next couple of days. If it does happen that I do have it, Helix is gonna have to wait on his box, and we're gonna have to wait on the Power of the Elements pre-release.
That's when you told me you were sick this morning. I was just like, "Oh, I gotta leave work to go beat up Stormy now because he
Yeah.
got you sick."
Well, I mean, I didn't think that we would go inside Stormy's house. I did meet, a staple among the horror community. Your boy, Scary Stormy, Scary Stories for the Rain, also lives in Indiana, where Dare lives. So I got to meet him in person. He does have COVID. He is positive for COVID. Um, it kind of was like one of those things where we'd been planning to meet for weeks at this point. You were setting it up there so that he would be at the Yu-Gi-Oh tournament that Saturday, so that we can meet in
Yeah,
person.
yeah. I didn't tell him that you were coming. I just kept telling him that he had to be there. I had a really big surprise for him. It was really special. If he didn't come, I was going to kill him. It was going to be great. And I just kept repeating that to him, and he's like, "Okay, I believe you. I believe you. You're starting to scare me. I believe you." And then I believe it was either the Wednesday or Thursday before, he texted me and he was like, "Hey, I have COVID and I can't come. I don't know what you were like planning, and I'm sorry. It's just like dot dot dot. Bart spent a bunch of money to come up and visit us." And he just like instantly was, "Oh my god, this is the worst possible timing for anything right now."
hmm Christine Baker says that her husband got 16 free COVID tests from the government. That is awesome. I would like to know how we do that. Um,
I believe you can just go on like your state government
mm.
page and request them.
Oh,
I
neat.
don't remember. We've gotten free ones here too from the government.
Wow. Helix says he got a haircut last night and she shaved the beard off completely instead of trimming it, and he was mad. But he didn't say anything because she was a nice old lady. Yeah, it's kind of weird, like you don't want to say something negative whenever somebody's being like super nice, and like the lady, other than allowing her son to just cough on me all willy nilly, was a super sweet lady. Like it was one of those flights where they don't have assigned seatings, so you can sit wherever, and I was on the last boarding group, so like me, a lone person in the last boarding group, meaning that whatever open seat I can find, that's my seat. And I wasn't. I wasn't happy about that because a lot of the times that means you're going to be stuck in the middle seat, and that's never fun. But the lady saw me coming. She saw me, like with my, my bag, by the way, multiplied like 6 times in size from the time that I got there to the time that I left. I brought back so many souvenirs. But what's it called? So I put my bag in the overhead, and it was so heavy at that point. And the lady sees me kind of like coming down the aisle, looking like where am I gonna sit? And she just kind of like waits me down. She says, "Hey, it's just me and my son here. Tell you what, I'll move over. You can have the aisle seat." And very nice of her. I was like, okay, fine. And then her son proceeds to cough on me for like 2 hours. But
What would have been great is if her son had the aisle seat, she moved over and made you sit between them.
oh, that would
That
have
way
been
she got away from her son.
oh, that would have been so freaking weird. But anyway, back to Stormy. What's it called? What was it? So yeah, like he was basically like, I don't wanna, like I'm so sorry that I'm gonna miss you when you come down to visit, and we kind of came to like this agreement where it's like, hey, you know what? I'll still come see you, but we're gonna do the thing where we social distance a lot. And he was like, yeah, that sounds good. So our plan was, and that we mostly stuck to the plan, which was he's going to be sitting. And I'm pretty sure you've been to his house there, Dare. But like I'm in the living room and he's in the kitchen.
I've actually never been to his house.
Oh, weird.
You've gotten I've been to where he lives, but I've never been inside of his house. So
Oh, okay. So
the
basically,
only knowledge of his house I have are from the videos he posted of his house.
I see. So the idea is, he's basically in another room. and I'm talking to him from another room basically, and he's wearing a mask, and he's like standing far away, and he's like, hey, you know what? I got a couple of gifts for you for coming to visit. So here's what I'm gonna do. Like very visibly pulls out like the big thing of like hand sanitizer. Look, I'm sanitizing my hands before I touch the things I will give you, and here is the things I will give you. I will place them on this table, and then I will back away. It's almost like a hostage situation. So it was actually kind of funny. Um, but yeah, so like the idea was, we're gonna be standing far apart, and for the most part, we stuck to that. Like there was one or two times there's kind of like this narrow hallway where we kind of had to stick a little close together, but that was really about it.
So, other than the Moki Mokis, what did he give you? Because you told us about that, but did he give you
Uh,
anything else
uh,
other than this?
couple of D20 dice for me and Helix.
That's when you were like, yeah, Stormy gave me a couple Moki Mokis. I was just like, he doesn't. I've known him for like years now, and he's never given me a Moki Moki.
Yeah.
He's only taken my Duelist Saga Jinzo.
I felt really, really special to receive the Moki Moki. As we all know, as a Yu-Gi-Oh player, to give somebody your favorite card is a very big deal.
It's, I that is his favorite card. I remember the original thumbnail you did for the podcast was me, you, and him, and he was a Moki Moki,
Yeah,
or maybe it was like the second thumbnail or something. But
it
yeah, I
was the second
remember.
one. Yeah, like the first one had you as Solemn Judgment, and it had him as Alistair the Invoker.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because I am the judge man.
right.
I am old man say no.
Old man say no, which I'm still regretting that during the tournament I didn't go with my Eldritch Shiradui deck. I should have, but part of me was like, uh, it hasn't been tested yet. Like I built it, but I haven't tried it out. So I'm gonna go with something tried and true. I know Dragon Link can perform. However, the thing is, I haven't optimized it in a long time. So it's like a very basic Dragon Link deck, and everybody else was playing some like really high tier like stuff. So like I got clapped by Flunder, I got clapped by DDDs, I got clapped by something else, and then I won
There's a bunch of Despia stuff
Despia.
that's running
Yes.
around. Yeah,
So Flunder, DDD, and Despia clapped me, but then I won against Altergeists and whatever whatever your friend was playing.
Sean,
Yeah.
Sean, and his bastardization of Adamantipator.
Yes.
I love Sean to death. He comes up with some of the most creative and innovative like deck ideas,
Mhm.
and then it's just like they don't work whenever it comes to him actually playing in like a tournament, but they work against like casual setting. So
Mhm.
he's really good, but he you would not be able to tell by like his records in
Mhm.
the tournaments.
Gamma says you got clapped by a 12-year-old. The fact is, yes, I got clapped by your 12-year-old.
You got clapped by Liam.
I was so mad because, like, here's the thing. I'm not mad because he beat me, whatever. Despia is a strong deck. I was mad because he was being a little turd about it.
Well, you would have loved to face against Aiden then, because Aiden is like Liam,
Oh,
but
God.
he's just cocky,
Right.
and he's like super fucking arrogant too. So it's like after game one, he'd be like, "So I thought you were supposed to be really good." Isaac wouldn't stop talking about how good you were. It's just like,
I mean, here's the thing.
Aiden.
I wasn't bad. I just made like a lot of like really bad choices, and there's a number of reasons for that. For one thing, I'm in a new environment, and I have like a little bit of social anxiety. So whenever I'm in a new environment, I tend to kind of like not think as clearly as I should. Um, but a lot of it also was it's like I don't remember what's in this deck anymore because I haven't messed with it in forever. And true enough, there was several times when I was going for a move and I'm searching through my deck only to find out that the thing that I intended to do is no longer in there. And I was like, oh, this sucks. So
Well, like I was telling you, it was really entertaining watching you duel because like there were times where it's like I really want to just like put my hand on your shoulder and be like, hey, bud, you misplayed there.
yeah,
But obviously, it can't do that.
right.
So it's it was interesting watching you play, but at the same time, it's just like I want to help him. I my favorite part was we warned you about Liam
Yes.
beforehand.
You did.
You got matched against Liam, and
Uh
you were visibly getting frustrated. I believe at one point you were like, "Okay, come on, dude, you got to play the game.
No,
Stop messing
no,
around."
I did because like what he was doing is, like, okay, so I do something to interrupt him, and he says, "Oh, you're just helping me because if you do that, I win. If you do that, I win. I can make a move that like because you did that, it allows me to do something and I win." But he's not telling me what. So at this point, I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna call your bluff. Play your card. And he's like, what? And I'm like, just play your card, buddy. You say you're gonna win, so play it. Let's see it. Like let's hit me with it. I want to see what it is. And of course, this entire duel, he's just kind of been like a little turd about everything. So I'm just kind of like, he's got nothing, and he's just trying to psych me out. But at this point, I was kind of annoyed by it because it's been happening for it's 40-minute duels. So like at this point, it's like we're like what 25 minutes in, and I'm just like, okay, like this has been going on for 25 minutes. If you got something, let's see it. Let's see you play it. But like yeah, so he did kind of frustrate me in that. um Overall, not a bad kid, but he's very much like like a young kid, and young kids do have a tendency to just be kind of like as they are. So, hashtag Bard punches 12-year-olds. Um,
It was the fact, though, for me that you said, What's your name again?" And he's like, "My name's Liam." And you're just like, "Oh."
yeah,
It's
yeah,
like the realization of, "Oh, this is who they were talking about."
yes. So, whenever he said that, I was like, "Oh, you're the one." I was like, that's you're the one that they were talking about. I was like, ah, damn it. I was like, after that, there's just kind of like this huge, like, just deflation, like where I'm like, I was getting worked up, and I was like, oh, you're the one. And then it's just kind of like relaxed. I was like, okay, all right. We can continue. We're good. Like, I was warned about this. I just forgot.
I thought Beth abducted you for a moment.
Yes, Stormy's wife kind of took me for a big old trip. We went to places, and I think a lot of it was the lack of communication because you know she said, okay, so the tournament starts at 6, so that
Yep.
means I have you from now until around 5:30 ish. So I was like,
Yep.
okay, let's go. So we went everywhere, man. Like she took me to the mall. We went to get pizza. We we went to like to a bookstore. We went literally everywhere. And we stopped by Stormy's house to meet Stormy. So like we went to and saw pretty much the entire town. On the way back, I was like, okay, like the little bag that I was carrying with me was so full of stuff that I was like, hey, would you mind, dropping me off at my hotel, and I can drop off some of the stuff that that I've been carrying all day. That way, I don't have to worry about it. And she was like, yeah, sure. And like my intention was like, yeah, you can drop me off, and I'll drive myself. It's fine. But she was like, nah, I'll just wait for you. So like, okay. So went to my hotel, dropped everything off, went right back down. I was like, okay, we can go now. And but by the time we got there, all of you were like, where have you been? It was about to start. I think I was receiving text messages from you at that point where it's like, hey, did she like kidnap you?
Well, that's. I was under the impression because I told you that Footer started or uh, they opened at 3,
Mm,
and we would be there at 3,
mm,
and I thought you were going to meet us at 3,
mm,
and then it's 4 o'clock,
yeah.
5 o'clock,
Mm,
5:30. I'm texting Stormy, and he's like, "Oh, well, they just left a minute ago." And I was like, "Okay, so they should be here maybe 5-10 minutes because he doesn't live that far away."
no.
5:45, 6, 6:15, and I'm just like, I'm gonna go ahead and pay for his entrance into the tournament,
Uh,
and
Thank you for that, by the
we'll
way. I appreciate all that.
I should have got those OTS packs. I'm just saying,
You should.
you got
Which
a little, you
reminds
got a
me,
little lucky.
I got an ultimate rare Fallen of Albaz out of the OTS pack. I was like, oh my god, and this is. I opened mine after I lost my first round, so I was like, I was a little bummed. I was like, man, this sucks. I can't believe normally in my locals I don't win a lot because I have a lot of like really competitive people, and then, I go into Indiana just to get clapped again. I was like, oh, this sucks. Like I just ran into Flunder all the way up here, and then I open it as like Fallen of Albas Ultimate Rare. I was like, oh, yes, the night has been redeemed.
Well, I was so happy because like you open the first one and it was like, there's nothing special in there. You open the second one, just by the way you like move the cards. I don't know if you saw or not,
I didn't. I
but
didn't until I read.
I saw that like telltale edge of an ultimate rare, and it's like he's gonna be happy with that.
Yeah, I was. I was super stoked. Man, it's. I can't begin to tell you. I do want to take a moment to say hello to PA Nightmares, who has joined us in the chat. But Helix says OTS packs are bae. Yes, they are. They don't come with a lot of cards, but the stuff that comes in them a lot of the time is really freaking dope. So I was pumped beyond reasoning when I saw like the Fallen of Albus Ultimate Rare. I don't use them in anything, but ultis are always nice to have.
Ultis are ultis.
Ultis are ultis. So I was like super super stoked about that. I was like, yes, oh my god. I was like, this
And
is cool.
and that's after you did lose to the Flunder match. I was like, at least he gets to go home with something nice.
Right. And like I don't want to like paint like it was a bad trip just because I lost. No, I actually do like the atmosphere at your locals a lot better because you can tell that people are there to have fun. Whenever I attend my locals, it's a very serious experience. You could ask Helix in the chat. People don't go there to mess around. Helix has been to my locals a couple of times, and he'll tell you that we don't run against people looking to have fun. We run into people looking to beat everyone else. So whenever I played some duels against some other people, it was really obvious that everybody's just in it for the love of the game. And to me, that was like, you know what, this is fantastic. I am happy to be here. And by my calculations, I won about 40% of the games that I played, which doesn't sound like a lot, but considering that at my locals I win 0% of the games that I play. I'm like, this was a good night. I love this.
And like it was pretty much like unanimous that everybody there enjoyed you showing up and playing.
Yeah, it
I don't
was really
think
fun. I mean, like it felt really wholesome that like in between duels people are just coming up and talking to me. They're like, yay, you're the guy, and I'm like, yes, I'm the guy. And like, oh man, happy to have you. How are you enjoying it here? Like how does this compare to like where you come from? And like I'm telling stories and they're like listening, and then they're telling me stories, and it's a fun time for everyone. So I was really really excited about that.
yeah, that's I know me and Sean were both like super happy that you enjoyed your time up
Mhm.
here, and uh, we're also like super sad that you left.
Yeah, I mean, like
So,
if I could have made it the case that I could have stayed for like a week, I would have. But like traveling is expensive.
I mean, prices up here are cheaper.
Prices up where you are cheaper. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
There's an apartment next to me that's open.
Mhm.
They just repainted and everything. So I mean,
So what's it called? Helix will confirm it is true. You need to hit the ground running, or you're going to get trampled fast. I haven't won once at our locals yet, and I have won in the past. And it always feels like such an anime moment because every time I do, it's because I draw that one thing that like it's just like this wouldn't have worked otherwise. But I drew like that one card, that one of that I play in this deck for no reason other than it needed to happen for like plot armor this particular day. And so it has happened. It's not like it never happens, but a majority of the time it does not. But as Helix says, you gotta you gotta hit the ground running, and so a lot of the times it's not just you have to do the very most, but you also have to hope that your opponent bricked harder than he can compensate for. So it's kind of one of those things, and it also says a lot of things that like compared to like everyone that's at our locals. I play budget, like I don't like to spend $600 on a trading card deck, so like I will play something that's usually a little lower power, but like still at a decent rogue tier. Whereas everyone at my locals has been playing, Adventure Sword Soul ever or based ever since the cards were released. Everybody doesn't care. Like yeah, we're gonna shell out the $60 for each for 3 Water Enchantress and for each for Rite of Aramasir, and we're gonna get all the Sword Soul stuff. We're gonna get like all of the newest stuff right now during the pre-release on Sunday. It wouldn't surprise me if people went there with like cash in hand to buy like all the Splight stuff the moment that they can get it. It wouldn't surprise me. I'd be like, "Yep." Um, so
Well, I can tell you right now that we have a Facebook page for our locals, and there have been like 4 or 5 people already post in it saying looking for Splight on pre-release day, looking for tier element on pre-release day, have cash. And it's just like I just want Malphas, but, but there's
uh,
secrets.
I do want the tier elements. Those look so cool. But it's one of those things where it's like you're gonna be lucky if you get what you get. Like unless you're prepared to just like pull out a second mortgage on your house, because that's gonna be expensive. And that's something to be said about Yu-Gi-Oh compared to like Magic, because Magic you can bankrupt yourself building like a very solid deck. Yu-Gi-Oh not so much. Like you might miss a you might miss a bill here or there, but for the most part, your deck will not break $1,000 unless you're being really extra. So like that's what all the competitive people are doing. I generally like to be like, okay, my deck cost me $50, and a lot of it I built because I already had the cards. Um,
Yeah,
so that's basically what I'm getting at with our locals is like I'm 100% convinced that it's going to be a madhouse on Sunday where everybody's like, I need the if you got the gigantic sprite, I need the gigantic sprite. If you got like the tier elements, I need that. I will pay you money here and now. I will give you my blood. Would you like my blood? Like I'm expecting that it's going to be that level of thing.
but
Because
I'm hoping that I pull something good from my pre-release packs because, like I said, there's a bunch of people who are looking for the Sprite stuff.
mhm.
There's a bunch of people looking for tier element, and unfortunately, the guy that you played that was playing DDDs,
Mhm.
he's wanting to build Exo Sisters along with. I don't know if you saw the guy with the I Love Jesus hat, but he plays Exo Sisters. But
Yeah, the guy that hung out with us after the tournament was done, he was with us out in the parking lot.
uh,
The skinny guy,
I,
beard.
oh no, no that was
Oh,
that's a different guy.
long hair.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
one that had a real thick accent.
Yes, yes, yes. But
He's been coming there for like months now, and I still don't know his name.
so Helix says that he's gone against Adventure Kaiju, which is a thing. He's gone against an Albaz deck and Speedroids, which Speedroids, depending on how you build it, could be good, could be not. And Gamma says he just wants Waifu Nibiru, the new Nibiru that activates during your turn whenever your opponent activates effects.
That's one
Um,
of the Starlights.
yeah, yeah.
Molf is also a Starlight.
Oh, so wait, it's in Power of the Elements, really?
Yep.
Oh man,
I it is that Malfa. I think DPE
hold on. The
and
DPE's getting a reprint?
as a Starlight.
No. Well,
They're giving it the Dragoon treatment where it's only going to be super high, super rare rarities. And good luck, have fun getting it.
Well, I think if I do end up pulling like any kind of starlights, my first plan is going to be like, okay, I know it was going to be a madhouse about the sprites, but now that I have the Starlight DPE, I will trade this thing to whoever can give me the most sprite stuff. Because
Let's
like he don't do it anymore now that Verte Anaconda's banned.
my luck is I'm going to get a Starlight Martha, and I'm just going to be like, yeah, now I have to get a playset of Starlights.
Yeah.
Rip my bank.
But that's another thing that I wanted to say is that where you live, oh my God, you can get cards literally everywhere. Like,
Yeah,
dude, like Helix and I have to drive like out to man the boonies. We have to go out an hour and 45 minutes to get to a place that sells singles because there's only one locals here in town that does it, and of course it's in the middle of like a highway that's always under construction. And so we have to fight through traffic every time to get there. It's the worst. But it's the only place in town that does it. So like our locals is fairly newer. Like they got established probably like about a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years. So they don't sell singles. They sell like a bunch of product, but like never any singles. They just don't want any part of it. Um, and so like every other like locals, it's like yeah, we sell sealed product, but no singles, like just the one. And so like every time that it's like, oh, okay, I need a couple of cards, it's like, well, we could drive an hour and a half to get there in the middle of Texas traffic, or we could just get it from TCG Player and wait a week.
either way, you're waiting a week.
Either way, we're waiting a week. So like
From
basically a lot of the times, if you need something, you better hope that somebody has it up for trade.
Yeah, that's usually, well, you've seen the decks that I build.
Yeah.
So usually, like, if I'm wanting to build a deck, I have no option other than hope that I have the cards or look for TCG, because no one's going to have the cards that I need.
No.
Because I need stuff from like 2004 for half these decks.
Hmm?
It's
Yep.
like the great Dizard card that I picked up while you're up here with us. I have Fushio Richie somewhere.
Mhm.
No one even knows what this card does.
Nope.
It's terrible. Why would you make a deck around it?
Mm.
I'm going to make a deck around it.
Yeah. Exactly. So it is that it Helix is agreeing with me in the what's it called chat. He says that yes, the trades are plentiful. You just don't know who's going to have what you're looking for. So like basically anytime that we go to like any of these gatherings, it's like you better bring your trade binder because you're going to need it. Where you live, oh my God, like I was so surprised that like everywhere we went you can get something. I was like, holy cow. I'm like, man, like this is the promised land. Like,
Well, like I told you, my one friend who owns his own card shop,
mm-hmm.
he has multiple places throughout the town where you can go and stop and pick up like one of the binders that he has.
Mm-hmm.
Like we only took you to the mall where he has his stuff.
Right.
He's got his stuff in like 5 other places.
Oh, really?
And then like everybody has like sealed product, obviously.
Right.
But, like everywhere, like even the dollar stores around here have like either like the sealed like duelist packs, like the Synchro Storm,
Right.
and they also have like the 25 card mystery pack with one rare card,
That rare card
which
being like a fusionist from LOB era.
a first edition fusionist from LOB era. And then you're like, oh wow, this is actually worth money. I did pull a ghost rare out of one of those before. So
Really?
either someone messed up or they do just throw in like a lottery card for you.
That is pretty wild. Like the only ghost rare, like we sharing stories up there, and I was like, I've only pulled one ghost rare, and that was the Eye of Timaeus twice. I was like, yep.
I think that was the only ghost rare that I actually pulled. My Winged Dragon of Raw. Uh, I don't know if you would face Jacob or not. He was the guy with like short curly hair.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I bought a box of Legendary Duelist Rage of Raw, and he was like, "Can I help you open it?" And I was like, "Sure, as long as you pull me the Winged Dragon of Raw."
Mm-hmm.
He gets like 3 or 4 packs in, and like has a miniature heart attack, and it's just like slowly like turns the card around to me, and he's holding the Winged Dragon. It's just like, I, you did what I told you to do. Good job, buddy.
Thanks a lot, friend. You know what's funny is my wife is a lot like that. A lot of the times, Helix and I will let my wife open our boxes because she just has the magic touch. She, like, whenever we open our boxes, we'll pull all right, but whenever she opens boxes, she'll get the best stuff. It's actually kind of really crazy.
So speaking of your wife, what did she think of the Nezuko fish and
Uh,
the? Did you get her the blanket too? I don't remember.
I did. So I bought my wife because you guys have a store that's just like nerd culture central, you know, which is you walk in there and it's just like anime and other merch like as far as the eye can see. You got your Funko Pops and all this stuff, and I was like, wow, this is incredible. So you know, my wife is into anime, so I bought her like a Nezuko pillow that is shaped like a fish, and like a blanket from ReZero with the character Emilia on it because she hates Emilia. Um, but it was funny whenever I like. I did actually pick her up some Pokemon cards too while I was up there. I think I picked them up at some point somewhere. Um, but yeah, anyway, so I give her the Pokemon cards first, and she's like, "Yay! You know, this is gonna upset you a little bit, but I literally just bought this pack for myself when you weren't here." I'm like, "Oh, well, now you have two." And then like, what was it? I pull out the blanket with the character that she hates, and I was like, "Here you go. It's a blanket with Amelia from ReZero," and she's like, "Why?" And I was like, "Do you not like the blanket with Amelia from ReZero on it?" And she's like, "I mean, it's warm, but why Emilia?" And I was like, "Don't you like Emilia from ReZero, which is printed on this blanket?" And she's just like, I I thank you. So then I like give her Nezuko pillow, and she's like, "Oh, okay, this I love. I love this pillow." So she
I like that we told you it looked like a fish, like multiple times, and it was after you got out of my car. We were like, "It looks like a fish," and you're like, "Yeah, it does look like a fish, don't it?"
yeah,
It's
it
a
is very fish
Nezuko fish.
shaped, and I don't know why, but you know she liked the stuff that I brought her, so that was fun. Um,
Helix, if the ramen and the millenniums were not as expensive as they were, I was going to buy them and send them back
Dude,
with
no
card for
joke.
you.
I was gonna get some of that stuff too, because it's just like the puns are hilarious. You got like your winged dragon of ramen, and you got your millennium cereal. I was like,
And
Yu-Gi-Oh food. This is great. Oh my gosh. And
and I bet neither of them taste even remotely good.
I don't know. The Millennium cereal said that it's blueberry flavored, which was weird. But the Winged Dragon of Ramen is what do you call it? A spicy flavor, which is my favorite flavor. Just nondescript spicy. uh,
It has spice. Well, what kind of spice? Spice, spice.
it's spice flavored, and it's just like, whoa, okay. So like, wait, like, so just spice? Yeah, just spice is what it is. I'm gonna.
Is it like jalapeno or habanero? Yeah, it's spice.
Yeah, it's just spice. You know, just spice.
You're not telling me anything, ramen.
I'm sending this to 242 because she probably she needs to see it. She needs to see the what do you call it? The
The puns.
millenniums and the winged dragon of ramen, which oh my gosh, like if they weren't like $14 a piece for like bagged ramen and a box of cereal, I would have been like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah, for like $14, you can buy just like 14 crates of top ramen or whatever it's called, the
Right,
instant ramen.
right. Yeah, so I'm like, there's no way I'm spending 14 bucks on ramen. Like I'm not doing it. But
No, no, Blark, it's not ramen, it's raw men,
yeah,
like
like the
winged
winged
dragon
dragon
of
of Ra,
raw
but it's
men.
ramen. Yeah. Uh, the entire time I'm looking at it, I was like, I bet you that doesn't taste nearly as good as I probably think it does, but I want it.
So, while we're on food, we didn't get to go to Checkers like you wanted to,
Right.
but we did go to Moe's.
Hmm.
What were your thoughts on that?
It's a lot like Chipotle. You ever been to Chipotle?
We have one. I've never been to it because I believe it was the South Park episode where like everyone eats Chipotle and they're like, it puts blood in my underwear, and it's just like
uh,
I don't want to deal with that.
I'm not gonna say that it's never happened because of Chipotle, but they do have like a weird track record of keep getting the E. coli tainted lettuce. I don't know what they're doing, but it's happened more than once. Um, However, more often than not, and this just goes to show you how forgiving I can be, more often than not, it won't make you sick.
Well, it's like I I've that was the second time I've ever actually eaten at that place,
Uh,
and the first time it wasn't like it wasn't anything to like write home about. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't good. When we went this time with you,
mm,
that was probably the best. I don't want to call it Mexican food. That was probably the best American idea of a Mexican food that I've ever had.
so Blark asks, "What's Checkers?" It's my understanding that Checkers is like a burger place. It's like a fast food diner. Is what is my understanding of it.
It's a fast food diner minus the diner portion of it,
Okay, so it's like a
which
drive-through
that
diner.
kind of
Okay.
that was what I was like dreading about actually going there was that you have two options of either eat in your car or sit outside, which you didn't have a problem with it being 96 degrees. I was dying,
Well, dude, like
especially with
it's funny because you guys keep saying like it's 96 degrees up here, and I was like, it was 96 degrees in Texas when I left. But here's the thing: we're humid though, so like to me, like up there, I was like, man, feel that breeze. It feels nice up here.
but yeah, it was miserable, especially with like my hers AC deciding to crap out day of you getting there.
Hmm.
Uh,
Yeah, that I
but
mean that didn't suck too bad. Like I get, and like it was funny because you're telling me like my AC's broken. Uh, it was funny to me because I'm like, it's weird how we can be driving around with the AC being broken, but it still feels nice. Like like there's like the heat isn't overwhelming. I don't feel like I'm cooking like I would back home. And I feel like it was one of those things where I kept saying it, and I'm like, I'm not just saying this to be nice, like 100%. This is a categorically different feeling.
well, that's like Sean and I both were like, it's because he's from Texas that he's not bothered by this. But it's like we're from Indiana, so we are bothered by this, and it's just the whole time I'm just like drenched in sweat because of the stupid car AC not working,
Yeah,
and I was just it was miserable being outside, but that's why we were inside often.
that's right. We were inside often, and I mean, that was fun. I mean, like I did make mention a couple of times that it kind of reminded me of my college town, like whenever I went to college.
Yeah,
Because it had a lot of like the same feel to it. Like you got yourself like a mall that's kind of like off to the side from the town, and you got like um, a lot of just like suburban area just outside of where like the college is, and then everything else is just fast food. And I was like, yep, this is a college town. I can feel it. Like I said that to myself, like not knowing that there was in fact a college, like just a hop and a skip down the road. I was like, oh, there it is.
well there was four of them, like I was telling you.
Yeah.
So like which it's there's only the one that's actually like known for anything around here. But yeah, this you kept calling it a college town. It's just like Bard, it's because it is a college town.
I wouldn't have believed you. So I was like, there's no way. Where's the college at? And then whenever I saw it, I was like, of course, that's where it is. How did I miss it? I'm like, of course. And, like me saying, like, I don't know. I don't see the college. It's like, well, that's because you haven't gone the length of the town. What do you mean you don't see the college?
That's I made you drive to the college
Yeah, you
and
made
see
me
the
drive to the
college,
college, and I saw the college, and it was like, yeah, it was.
and you're like, wow, this is a college.
This is a college, and this is a college town. One thing I will say about your locals that I think is just the dopest thing. I was like, God, more places should be like this. Is that it's a pizza place with a card shop attached. That to me is just so freaking cool. I was like, this is
How
awesome.
how did you enjoy your what was it, the stromboli that you had?
Yeah, that was so good. I mean, like it was amazing. I was like, this is so great. I'm like, because you can just like play card games and then go get
And
yourself
then when
some
you're
pizza.
hungry, you go get, yeah. And
Yeah.
it's and see, calling it a pizza place is like selling it short because they have like pizza, they have pasta, they have sandwiches, they have so much stuff to like
Mhm.
eat there. And then, like you said, it's just you sit there and play your card games. And when you start feeling hungry, you go up and say, "Hey, I want a 2 liter and a medium pizza with mushrooms on it."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Yeah, sure, 15 minutes." And then you tell them that your name is Jake Steele, and when they bring out the food, they look for Jake Steele, don't see Jake Steele, and then they take it back.
That was funny. Like you giving them the fake name, and it was funny because like I remember whenever you're like, my name is Jake Steele, and I like give you a look like, no, it isn't. Why are you lying to them?
Well, see,
Uh,
it's like a rite of passage. Whenever they hire a new person, I just automatically mess with the new person.
mhm.
And with COVID and everything, they've had a lot of people leave,
Mhm.
and they just never really got those people back. So here recently, they hired a bunch of new people,
Mhm.
and the new people don't know about my bullshit,
Yeah.
and that makes me so happy. It's they don't know about my bullshit.
Mm. Yeah. Well, what can I say? Like, it was really really cool. Like for one thing, they have an abundance of cool stuff in there. I mean, like that to me, I'm like, this is what a card shop should look like. But then secondly, they have really really good food there, which like it smelled really amazing the entire time we were there. And then like whenever I finally got to eat the food, I was like, oh my gosh, this does not disappoint. This is amazing. Um, but yeah, so I mean, it's just a really great atmosphere all around. I was very thrilled to be there.
So you say it smells like food. I guess I've just been going there so long that I don't like smell it anymore.
Yeah, you must be because like I smelled it the entire time.
That's probably like the worst thing about it is if you don't go there often and you're just sitting to play cards and you just like constantly smelling like pizzas and sandwiches and stuff being cooked.
Oh, it is
It's
it
just
is a
like,
great marketing technique. Because like what's it called? Like, you know what? They come for the card games, but sooner or later they'll buy some pizza. I promise you they will. I'm just like,
well, if
yeah.
like a lot of the customers I feel like they get are the people who come in and like buy food from for like the tournament and stuff.
Hmm.
It's we had a couple 52-man case tournaments there,
Hmm.
and just the general manager, she's friends with me, which should be obvious by the way that I walked up and just flipped her off
Mm.
uh, while she was at the counter. But she said that those were like the worst days because there was like 52 orders at once,
Yeah.
and it was just constant food having to be put out, as well as people coming in ordering food and leaving. And it was amazing. uh, I love the place. I hope you can come back sometime.
Absolutely.
It,
Like
it's great.
I was telling Helix about it whenever I got back. I was like, dude, yeah, you don't know what you missed. It was a lot of fun, and you know what? It's probably somewhere that I would love to go again. And I basically told him, I'm like, hey, if I go again next year, you want to go? And he's like, yeah, let's go. So, you know, this.
Well, I was so upset. Like Helix, I want you to listen real carefully. I was so upset that when we were sitting in the wrong inn because Bard told us the wrong inn to wait for him at. I, he just walks in and it's like, where's the other? There's supposed to be two of you. There's
Yeah.
only one.
Hmm.
I was looking forward to meeting both of you, and then I only got to meet Bard, which that's not a bad thing.
Well, yeah.
I loved being able to meet you. But
And again,
yeah,
you know, like
that's
this is a lot of it is my fault because you know, like we did do kind of this thing where it's like, hey, you know what, we should go on this date, and you know, he's like, okay, so we'll talk about it later. And then at one point I said, I'm gonna buy my tickets, and he says, okay, well, talk to me about it later. And then, you know, so like the day of comes, and you know, he's like, okay, so wait, why didn't you call me to tell me that we were going? And I said, well, I said I was going to buy my tickets. Like, at what point was that ambiguous? I mean, like, I'm buying the tickets because I'm going. And then he's all like, yeah, but I thought you were going to tell me so that I could do it at the same time. I was like, I thought you said you weren't going. So it was kind of like this huge mess where it's like, I said exactly what I wanted to say, but I didn't say it clearly, so he misinterpreted it and got the wrong idea. So it was kind of like a lot of that. Um, let's see. I was under the impression that he decided not to go, which is why I didn't follow up. But he was under the impression that I was going to call him whenever I bought my ticket so that he could buy his ticket too, which I didn't do because I thought he wasn't going. So yeah, that was a bad one.
well, he'll come up next time.
Yeah.
That's like I said, like you explained it to me while you're up here, and I was like, that's upsetting,
Mhm.
but we'll get him next time.
Yeah, yeah. So, like, you know, like I said, I talked to him about like, hey, you know what? Maybe we can go again next year. You know, like make it a thing. And you know, this time you can actually come along with me. You know, like if we start setting plans in motion right now, it should be a lot smoother. So you know, definitely something that I would be looking forward to doing again because, like I said, I had a lot of fun while I was there. It was a blast.
And that's Sean and I had a lot of fun hanging out with you. And I know I'm seriously thinking about making a pilgrimage down to meet you sometime. Hopefully, not like the hot months of Texas, but like
Yeah,
maybe
I was gonna say
you said
take
your guys' Ren Fair goes through November and December, so
right.
maybe closer to that side of the spectrum.
Right, because like, and I remember I told you guys, I was like, look, I have been unbothered by what you guys call heat. However, if you experienced what I call heat, you would be very bothered. So if you ever decide to come visit, which you know, like, take your time. I mean, it's not like a huge rush or anything like that. You know, Renfest happens every year. But like, if you decide to come down, do not come down at any point between June and August. You will regret it. I'm like,
I will melt into your couch and you will not
uh,
be able to remove me.
yes, because I was like, look, I keep my AC going full blast all day long. My electricity bill is through the roof. But like, here's the thing: how is it that I have it running full blast the entire day and it's still burning up in here? Texas is unforgiving. So I'm like, yeah, if you guys decide to come down and you know hang with me and Helix, 100% do it during the winter or
Well,
during the
like
fall
I
or
said,
winter because you will hate it otherwise.
I'm pretty sure this apartment next to me is still open.
Mm.
I mean, it's a two-bedroom,
Mm.
so I mean that's you and your wife have your own bedroom.
Mhm.
Have a, or you could share a room, have a room for Goblin and your. I don't remember what your dog's name is.
Yeah, Scout.
Scout. That's it. So I mean, it's an option. It's cheaper.
Hmm.
Gas is only $4.29 up here.
We will consider it. But 242 says, no one ever sees me. I live in another country or something. Yes, Canada is another country. Like,
Are the borders still closed? Because I
um,
thought it was like impossible to travel because of the COVIDs.
I don't think so. I think borders are open now. 242 can, what's it called? Can what do you call it? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe that the borders between Canada and the States are open, so you can travel there if you want. I mean, I was going to travel there last year because I had tickets to Japan, but in order to get to Japan, you have to cut through Canada. It's like a connecting flight.
I was
Um,
gonna say you do know that Japan and Canada are not next to each other, right? But
no,
then you
they're
said
not.
it's a connecting flight.
It is a connecting flight because for some reason flights can't just be direct from everywhere. It's so frustrating. Like my trip and like something that I haven't mentioned yet, but like my trip to you was such a nightmare. Like the trip back wasn't bad, but the trip there was so annoying because it's like, okay, so you're gonna get to the airport at 6:30 in the morning. Your flight leaves at your flight leaves at 7, and I'm like, okay, and then they're like, here's your tickets, plural, and I'm like, tickets, and they said, yeah, because you see, you're going to Dallas, and then from Dallas you're going to Indiana, and I said, why? And they're like, because that's the way we structured the flight. So I'm like, okay, well, at least, it's like I just land there and I get on the next plane, right? And they're like, no, what you're gonna do is you're gonna land in Dallas and then you're gonna wait 4 hours and then you're gonna fly to your next destination. I was like, I hate this. Why are you like this?
But wait, there's more.
Yeah.
We're gonna delay your flight by 40 minutes.
Then they delayed my flight by 40 minutes. I was like, oh my god. And like I kept wanting to go to the bathroom, but I don't know if you've ever been to an airport bathroom, but like with flights dropping in constantly, there is never like an open stall that you can use. So I had to go to the bathroom like 4 different times before there was an opening where I was like, "Yay, here we go." Uh,
You just got to find a corner and then like look around, make sure no one's watching, and then
um,
I'm pretty sure there's at least two people who've done that before.
there must be. I doubt very highly that it's never been something that's been done. But
One of them
lastly,
was probably a child, and then one of them was probably a homeless man.
probably. So the last thing that just like upset me about my flight is I'm like, look, I'm waiting 4 hours, so I'm gonna go find something to do. And there was like a bookstore at the airport, so I bought myself a volume of manga. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna read some manga. I love manga. So I'm reading it, and I got really invested in the story. I was like, this is good manga. And then I got on the airplane, and I was like, I'm just gonna try to read the rest of it while I'm on the airplane, and I fell asleep. And when I woke up, I grabbed my bags and I took off. And I guess the manga must have fallen off my lap and just like on the floor of the airplane because I never saw it again.
They did have it at the bookstore that you went to here, though. You said they didn't have the
Yeah,
correct
they
volume.
they had volumes 3 through 6, and I was like, oh, but I was on volume 1, so I'm gonna be missing a significant amount of story if I just jump to volume 3. So I don't know. I was kind of upset about that a little bit. Blark says, pee in the sink.
Yeah, you could pee in the sink. That is an alternative to peeing in the corner.
242 says that the borders are open, so you can technically visit her now. Canada is open.
I would enjoy to visit all of my narrator friends. It's
Uh,
just a words. It's just a matter of money, honestly, because like 42, uh,
isn't that
if
far
I
away
remember
from you?
correctly, is she? I thought she said she lives out on the west coast of the Canada land.
But I know, but you're further north than I am, so she's closer to you.
Yeah, but she's still on the other side of the country
Right.
from me.
Either way, the point is, you can get to her probably faster than I can.
True. True.
So Gamma asks, "Do you remember what it was called?" The manga was called Kaiju Number Eight. Uh,
Mambo number 5.
Kaiju Number Eight, Volume One, and it was really good, and I enjoyed it because the main character is in his 30s, like your favorite bard, and he's going through some stuff, and I was like, that's relatable. Like, like he's like, you know what, I have one last chance to do my dream job because like they upped the enrollment deadline to age 33, and I'm 32 right now, so I have one last chance. And he's in competition with a bunch of young 20 somethings, and I'm just like, yeah. He's like, why am I slower? Why are they faster? Why do I not understand things as quickly? And I was like, yep. And then like
And then he,
there's this scene where like after like a day of rough training, because they kill kaiju is basically what they do. So like after a rough day of training, he's like, all right, we're in the bath, because in Japan they have communal baths. So like we're in the bath, and we're just gonna like sit here and chill, and all the young men are just like, yeah, check it out, man, like all these muscles, look at that, I've been training my whole life, I'm super strong and super shredded. And our main character sitting over there with dad bod. I was just like, damn it. I was like, yep. Oh man,
that is the best bod for fighting kaijus.
it is the best bod for fighting
Fact,
kaijus. You got extra padding for when they smack you around. Your organs are more insulated.
I was happy that you were like significantly shorter than both me and Sean when you showed up.
Everyone over there
That's
is so tall. Oh my god. Or maybe I'm just not as tall as I think, because I'm pretty sure Helix is taller than me too.
this whole everything's bigger in Texas thing is a lie. It's a lie.
Probably. I mean, I would say a majority of things are, because just like to put it in perspective, like whenever I got home, I landed at the airport. I still had to drive 3 hours to get home.
Yeah,
So
that's
like
you texted me that you got back and my phone went off like at midnight and you're like, I'm finally home. And it's just like, okay,
you're like,
I'm
dude, you left at like
good.
4.
It's like good. It's good to see you're back. I love you. Good night.
It was a long trip, man. It was like, because okay, well, firstly, I have to drive from your town to where the airport is, which is about an hour and some odd minutes, and then I have to like do all the stuff over there, like return the rental car, get to my terminal, etc., etc. Which that was the least of it. I got that finished in probably less than 30 minutes, and then like waiting for the airplane was about an hour, and then when I was finally on the airplane, it's 2 hours back home. And whenever I get back home, I gotta get in my car and drive 3 hours to get to my side of town. And the entire time I was like, wow, this is a long trip.
Yeah. It. Well, it's. You told us you were leaving uh, Friday morning. You texted me and you're like, I'm getting ready to go to the airport. And like 2 hours later, you're like, I just got to the airport. And I was like, what the? When the hell are you going to be here? It's like it's 2.5 hour flight, and then next thing I know, it's like 5 o'clock, and you're like, I'm at this inn, which you weren't at that inn. You were at the inn next door.
Mhm.
I think that's still my favorite thing is you told me 4 different inns, and none of them were the correct one.
Well, I mean, like they said you're at this hotel, but like what they didn't tell me is like, yeah, but you're at the dollar version of it. You're at the bargain bin version of this hotel. So
You're at the we have hotel at home, son.
I'm at
Hotel.
the hotel at home, and it was funny, and I mentioned this to you and Sean when I was there. I was like, this hotel has a very horror movie aura about it. Like like I don't think anyone's died in it recently, but I would be surprised if nobody died there at all. Like maybe not where I'm staying, but somewhere in this hotel there is a room that's haunted or cursed. I was like, because like I walk in and it's dark and it's the air's thick, like like a little too humid for what would make sense, and like like the lights are flickering. There's one person at the at the desk who speaks in a very creepy way, and like the
And she has one eye
yeah.
and a hook.
And the elevator is just like really, like it moves really really slow. And like whenever you get to your hotel, uh like you turn on the lights, and it takes them a while to be all the way on. There are those that like kind of dim on, but like it's such a slow dim that I was like, is this gonna turn on at all? It was
It's
wild,
like
man.
the original TVs where you have to like turn the switch on and let the tubes light up before it actually starts working.
Right.
You have to like
Yes.
flip the lights on and like wait 5 minutes for them to actually turn on.
Hmm. So it was quite the experience. And I remember, man, like the first night that we hung out and you guys dropped me off at my hotel room, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go next door to the gas station to get myself some like Gatorade and some water because my heart condition requires that I stay properly hydrated. So I was like, all right,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go next door, grab myself some of that. And I'm not kidding you, man. When I go next door, and it feels like everyone in that gas station is dangerous. Like, like I walk in and I was like, oh, I'm sorry. Is there a biker gang that calls this their local hangout? What's happening?
Well, funny you should say that because before we picked you up that Friday morning,
Mm,
we stopped there to so I could get gas,
mm.
and Sean went in to get something to drink. And he comes out with 2 things of chocolate milk, and he's just like, I wanted to look around, but I felt like I was going to get stabbed.
Yes, and that's what it felt like to me too. And even like the cashier, like here's the thing. I don't have a clear recollection of the cashier, maybe because, like I was so scared that I was just ready to get out of there. But I don't know why in my mind's eye, I remember her having an eye patch. Like, like this is terrifying. But, like I made it there, I made it back. And of course, the door to the hotel is like, you have to have your key on you because it locks you out. So you need to use your key to get into the main lobby. But I was unaware of that at the time. So like when I go in, I'm like, all right, let's get out from let's get out from the where the danger is. Let's go, let's go, let's go. I ran smack straight into the door. It's just like boom, and I was like, ow. And I'm like pulling on the door, and of course, it's locked. So it's just kind of like, damn it. And I'm like looking around, like, this is where I die. And then it's like, that's when I noticed like the little keypad on the side is like, hey, tap your key here. I was like, oh, this is not where I die. I'm panicking for no reason.
That is the only high tech thing in that hotel. I
It
can
is.
almost guarantee it.
Yes, it is the only high tech thing in that hotel. It was crazy. I was seriously like, oh no, what's happening? Oh man. So it was definitely like ooh. And Blark says, nah, take the stairs. At one point I did because the what do you call it? The what do you call it? The cleaning staff was taking. You know how they have like those big carts where they have all of their cleaning materials. So
The cart with like every single like disinfectant and soap imaginable to
yes,
mankind, as well as like brooms, mops. Yeah, the cleaning cart.
right. So what's it called? The cleaning cart. So they have everything. So there was a one of the cleaning crew in the elevator with that, and it was taking up like 85% of the elevator, and I just kind of didn't want to be, like squeezed into a corner. So I was like, you know what? I'll take the stairs. And Blark, when I tell you that the stairs were somehow worse, this is when Beth dropped me off. By the way, that she was like, "Okay, I'll wait for you here, and I'll take you over to the store." And I was like, "Okay, cool." So I'm like, "Okay, I'm not gonna wait for like the next elevator because I know how long this elevator takes. So I'll just take the stairs. That way, I don't keep Beth waiting." Um, so I take the stairs, and I don't know why, but I'm like, why does it feel like I'm being watched in here? like like there's
Imagine like there's stairs missing every like third or fourth one.
right, like
It's
like
just like a gap that you have to jump.
And they're cement stairs, right? They're not like wood, but you still kind of get like that weird feeling, like like your next step, the stair should creak, like which doesn't make sense because it's made of cement. But if it had, you wouldn't have felt that was wrong.
You like look up through the stairwell and there's just a head poked over looking at you,
Right,
no eyes or
right.
anything.
Exactly. Like you look up like down the center and like two floors above, there's like someone peeking down. Like that wouldn't have felt out of place. I was like, I don't know, man. This hotel has a very, very you might die here vibe, and I don't know how I feel about it.
Didn't know you were staying in the murder hotel,
Right.
but that's
That being said, the bed was very comfortable. So I mean, there was that.
bed 10 out of 10, hotel 1 out of 10.
Hotel, I'm afraid to say bad things about them because they might be listening to this.
Well, you took the ghost home with you. That's
I
part of the murder hotel
That's
experiences.
part of the checkout service. Like they gave you a card when you checked in, right? And the card had instructions for checking out. I half expected the
Yeah.
instructions to say like you're not checking out.
They're just written in Latin, and whenever you read them aloud, you summon the like ghost girl that's been murdered there. It's like,
Damn it, I hate that so much. But like it was just like I don't know, man. Like it was a fun trip. I'm gonna say like I have a lot of like really happy memories about the trip, and I'm like, you know what, 10 out of 10 would do again, murder hotel and all.
I'm just happy that I got you to sign a card before you left.
Yeah.
I didn't want to play a stun deck against you because you've talked before about how you don't like stun decks, and I was just like,
Uh,
I could easily Mystic Mine him right now and just easily get my win, but it's
yeah,
like I'll just burn him to death.
you know what? Like there is something that I want to say that like I took away from your locals is that, like there is in fact like a different atmosphere whenever people gather just for the love of the game. And like that's something that you respect, so like whenever you go to a place and people just love playing the game, play a fun deck, play a fun strategy, have some interaction with your opponent. But then it kind of made me resent my local, so it's like nobody goes there for the love of the game, everybody goes there for the grind. So I'm looking at my Mystic Mines in my collection binder and I'm like, I'm going to build Sky Striker Mystic Mine. I'm going to do that because you know
Mm.
what, they haven't made me feel like I'm having fun there, so I'm not going to let them have fun either. I'm just going to go there and just like be the worst.
I mean, you could do that, or like I said, the apartment next door is open, and it's cheaper, and gas is cheap, and that would be like the ultimate like cool thing is just having everybody move in this apartment complex.
Yeah,
But
everybody just moves in. All of the horror narrators are now just inhabiting your apartment complex.
but the bad thing is we would all live in Indiana then.
Yeah. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I mean, like I thought it was very picturesque.
It's
It's got that
there's corn.
it's got that small
There's a lot
town
of
feel.
corn.
It's got that small town charm. But
It does. I'll give you that. It does.
yeah.
I do enjoy. I give the town a lot of shit, but I do enjoy living here.
Yeah. And I could see why. Like it's fun, like everybody seems like they know everybody. It's got that kind of vibe, like where your neighbors would be neighborly. You could theoretically leave your doors unlocked. I wouldn't in my hotel, but you could.
Let's yeah, that's I some neighborhoods you could do that. I wouldn't say all neighborhoods you could,
Mhm.
but like yeah, where I live, like I get along with all my neighbors. They're all pretty cool.
Right.
And apparently, you're getting called out for giving Helix crap on making a Mystic Mind Striker deck, and now you're
Helix,
making one.
here's the thing. I changed my mind after like visiting Dare's locals because I was like, okay, you know what? This is the kind of environment where I could respect by playing something fun and interactive. Our environment is nothing like that, and like I'm a little embittered towards it because of that. So I'm like, you know what, Helix, you want to build Mystic Mind to take the locals? Let's go. We were going to be the Eldritch Golden Boys anyway. Now let's just be the Mystic Miners. Let's just go. Let's make sure everybody has the worst possible time dueling against us. Let's do it.
And now they're gonna ban Mystic Mine.
And now they're gonna ban Mystic Mine. If they do, then we'll just gravitate to the next toxic thing we can find.
That's before you came up. That's exactly what Sean and I were talking about. Them banning Mystic Mine, and like, what's the worst thing you could like come up with to replace that? Oh, I know. Pendulum summon out Jinzo, Spell Canceller, and Vanity's Fiend. No spell cards, no trap cards, no special summoning.
They're all like level 6s, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe Jinzo is 6, Spell Canceller is 5, and Vanities is 6 or 7.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So like if you get like a scale of like 4 to 7, you're set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which that's not that hard to do.
No, that is not hard to do at all. So yeah, like yeah, Helix can give me crap, but yes, like if they ban Mystic Mine, then we're switching to sprites. Yes, we are. That's gonna break the bank a little bit. So we might need to wait till like the Megaton 2024 before we can do that.
Switch to Coca-Cola. Well, Sprite's just going to get Toad banned, and then they're not going to be that great themselves. But
Yeah, I mean, they still do a lot of stuff, man. They still do a
it's
lot.
all about Goaty. You gotta play Goaty.
I don't know what that
Fish,
is.
That's the fish.
Oh, the
synchro
new
deck
fish
that
stuff.
comes out with
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, that's in Power of the Elements too, and it's dirt cheap. If you go on to Tier 0, you can buy the full core for like $40,
Hey, that's not bad.
and that's $40 pre-sale price, and you get
That's
3 of everything.
Especially considering that normally pre-sale prices are more expensive than what they are once they hit the market and the prices kind of settle.
Yeah,
Yes.
like Martha being $80 yesterday, and now it's down to like 20 something.
Yeah, it feels good. It feels good. I kind of was looking at what's it called, like the Alubers out of Ghost from the Past 2, where it was like, oh yeah, man, when they hit, they're gonna be $20 a piece, and then the moment Ghost from the Past 2 released, it was like they're $8 a piece, and I think now they're like $3 a piece. So it's just kind of like, okay,
Yeah,
it's tax.
I wish that Tax Dragon would have gotten
Yeah,
a reprint in Ghost from the Past.
I was gonna say, yeah, it's Tax Dragon that's still the expensive one.
Yeah, it's only got the one printing from Burst of Destiny, and it's still it's went down.
It was like
Bard.
$26 last I checked.
It's $16, Bard.
Ooh.
The IRS dream is real.
Hey, at $16 a piece, that's not bad. I might build my own Despia thing. I need 2 more dramaturges and like maybe an Aluber, and we're good to go, boys.
I like that I told you and Sean about the IRS deck, and you were both just like, no, don't play that. That sounds horrible.
You say that, but you killed me with Trickstar, so I don't want to.
Yeah, you don't really have a foot to stand on.
No, I don't. Yeah, because and the worst part about it is that in my head, I'm like, I'm trying to save myself here by giving me a draw, and maybe I draw into something that'll help me, like a Raigeki or a Feather Duster. So I'm like, I'm just going to banish Shiranui Squire. That draws me a card. What happens? And you're like, what happens is you die. And I'm like, all right, that sucks.
Draw your hand on standby reincarnation.
I remember Gamma hitting me with Trickstars once before, and I remember thinking to myself, man, this sucks. And then you hit me with Trickstars, and I was like, oh, I remember this. This still sucks. It's just like, ouch. Like, I'm like, I haven't even had a turn, and I'm down to like 100 life points.
I didn't draw the FTK, so you lucked out there.
I did. That was fun, though.
It was. I really enjoyed you coming up here, and I hope that either you can come back up sometime soon, or maybe Sean and I can come down and visit you sometime soon. Either way, we need to hang out again
Yeah.
It was fun. It was
Ha-
great.
hanging with the homies is like peak awesome. So yeah, I'm all for it. If we can make it happen again, let's make it happen again. But let's see. I think that we've been going for an hour and a half now, so let's call it a stream. Conclusions. The hotel was haunted as hell. The flight up there was nightmarish, but my stay was 100% pleasant, and it was a lot of fun. And I got to meet Dare, which was a blast. He's a lot taller than I expected him to be. I know Helix is taller than me, so I expected you to be somewhere in that range, but you're a lot taller than him too. So
Is very short Bard.
I am short compared to you. Yes, I would argue that I'm actually very average sized, but you are tall, and so is everyone else up there. Everybody was like over 6 feet, and I'm only like 5'10". So it was kind of like, oh well, I'm just gonna look up at everybody the entire time, huh? So it was a fun trip. I had a blast. I want to thank you again for having me. I mean, yeah, you and everyone there just like made it 100% amazing. This was the best time that I've had in a vacation, and I look forward to visiting again if I can swing it. So yeah.
Well, we like I told you when you were up here, we would all enjoy you coming back sometime. If everyone enjoyed you being up here, we all had a great time with you, and hopefully we won't uh, let Beth abduct you, and I won't drive it into traffic. So
I do love how you guys were like, oh, nobody here knows how to drive, and I was like, you guys have clearly never driven in Texas, where road rage is
yeah,
just like
if
a
I come to Texas, you are driving me everywhere.
yeah.
I will not be behind a car's
I,
steering wheel at any point in time.
I was thinking that too, like as soon as I got back, because the amount of near death experiences I had trying to drive to my place, I was like, okay, firstly, they are not equipped to survive this environment. I was like, I'm gonna have to drive because otherwise they will die. So that's something that we got going on here, and like you get to meet Helix, and that's another thing. So definitely. But thank you to everyone who showed up, who was in the chat. We had Christine Baker. We had Gamma Agutabi. We had Helix. We had Blark Moo. We had 242. We had PA Nightmares. We had Sock Goblin. I mean, we had a full house, and it was amazing. Thank you to everybody for hanging out with us. This was just like the vacation recap episode. It was a lot of fun. And we will see you on Sunday, where we will be having our sixth Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel tournament. You are part of the second bracket, and so is Sky. And I kind of figured that we open up two more slots for somebody to fill. I think Somber would be down, and I think that Sky's brother might also be down. We should ask.
That can work. That can work.
Yeah, yeah.
But all I have to say about that is he lost to DDD's up here. So are
I
we gonna see
did.
a repeat performance?
I did. I did want to say that I did make a mistake on that one because I activated my dimensional barrier, which should have won me the game. The mistake that I made is
Oh
that
shit! I told you what to call on that too. Fuck.
yeah, the mistake that I made is that I thought that that it was necessary for DDDs to use their fusions as material for their XC summons. I thought that the fusions were the level sixes that would put them into Deus King Machinex or whatever. So I thought if you call fusions, they can't make their XCs. I was very wrong about that. They absolutely can. And so I called fusions thinking like that's probably the safest bet. That way they can't even get off the ground. No. I should have called XCs. I was a dummy. So, it is what it is. You lose and you learn.
I gotta play something other than DDDs now because I told you how to beat them.
Right. But again, thank you, everybody. Tune in next time for our Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel tournament, which will be taking place on Sunday. What is it? The 30 something? The 31st?
Yep.
Sunday
31st.
Sunday the 31st at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. Check your local listings, and Once you join the collective, you can leave nevermore. Adios, everybody.
Bye.